Melania was really something a number of years, a long time ago. She said, there are two women on television that are absolutely incredible. They love you so much. And that's the first time I ever heard of Diamond and Silk. I said, well, let me see it. And they were just great. And they were loyal, and good times, bad times, it didn't matter. They were totally loyal. And we're going to do a little service, I think, for Diamond. And we're going to do it up in North Carolina. And I don't think the date has been set yet, but it's going to be set pretty soon. We'll give her a service that she really deserves.
Well, the funeral of Lynette Hardaway, also known as Diamond, of conservative duo Diamond and Silk, happened this weekend. And it was so very bad.
And, the world has lost one of its brightest stars, real star, but I see that we have another star who is equal to, but she stepped up and she is different. I'm serious. I thought I knew them both. I didn't. I knew Diamond, but I didn't know Silk at all. I just learned about Silk. You're fantastic. You're going to carry on beyond anybody's wildest imagination.
I need you all to remember that he said that at a funeral. Okay, so after he belittled Hardaway's partner in crime, Trump went on to once again claim without evidence at a funeral that the 2020 election was stolen from him. He also, I'm sorry, it's just so messed up. He also complained that the funeral was too long. Let's watch.
And I don't believe, they told me, I said, give me a little time, because I have a lot of people waiting for me back in a place called Palm Beach, Florida. They said, give me a little time. What do you think it'll take? Oh, about 15, 20 minutes, in and out. I said, well, it can take longer. This is a little longer than 15 minutes, right?
Okay, that is not the end of the craziness of the funeral, but first, Dan, I want to get your thoughts. Do you think this is a worthy celebration of Diamond's life?
That's great framing. Thank you there, Rayyvana, for putting that on my plate. Sure, yeah, it's a fairly worthy celebration for someone like Diamond, who, I don't necessarily love to speak ill of the dead, but and not to even follow that with a but it's worth to mention that Diamond and Silk kind of created a lot of their political careers. How can I say this in a least crazy way for a majority white audience? Performing for Donald Trump and his fans and his audience. And so I think that the idea that Donald Trump makes a funeral about someone else about him is nothing new under the sun. The idea that he turns something that's oh, I really know Silk now, and this is something that's going to be, she's gonna really find resilience through this, and she's gonna get through this. He somehow turns that into a backhanded compliment about, oh, I didn't really know her before this, so cool. And then maybe I caught on this, but Diamond and Silk, they're black figureheads. I want to say Donald Trump was making a colored people time joke at the end, oh wow, this funeral's taken a little bit longer than I expected here. That's real interesting. And so I was Donald Trump is playing the hits. I'm still in the mode where I'm assuming he's not going to be the Republican nominee again, because he's a loser. He failed. He's bad. He sucks, and he's terrible. He's not a winner. He's not a winner. But he's doing the same routine he usually does, where he talks about how the election's stolen. He talks about how great he is. Talks about how he influences other people. He's going to be doing the same routine. He's done this before at random people's weddings at Mar-a-Lago. So yes. This is just the tape track that he does in his brain. Hopefully he doesn't end up being president or anyone who has sucked up to him for the past several years.
I was literally just about to bring up the Mar-a-Lago weddings, because it's kind of what you're hoping for, right? It's got to be what you're hoping for when you invite.
Play the hits, dude.
Yeah, you're inviting Donald Trump to your wedding. You're hoping he's gonna do election stuff. You do your wedding at Mar-a-Lago. You're hoping he's gonna go up to the mic and start riffing about Khomeini or whatever, whatever he can at the wedding. Yeah, so I think maybe that it's what Diamond would have wanted. But when it came time for her to speak, she was pretty much just as bad. Daily Beast reported that she said, instead of asking if Americans are vaxxed or unvaxxed, the real question to ask here is, Are Americans being poisoned? Which I had to pause there for a second. And I know it's because a lot of people are saying that Diamond died of COVID and she's tired of people asking if she was vaccinated. And she wants to sort of insinuate that she died of the vaccine and not from COVID. But she won't answer the question. She won't tell you whether she was vaccinated or not. But okay, it continued on. In the wild, when they went to depopulate and sterilize a large group of animals, they usually inject one animal, and that one animal infect the rest of the animals. People are dropping dead around here, and nobody is talking about it. They are dropping dead suddenly and unexpectedly. And remember, there is, of course, she's insinuating that the COVID vaccine is causing sudden deaths, but there's no proof that it actually creates any harm and would cause people to die. Okay, let's get back into this funeral madness. What I want to say to everyone is don't you dare call me a conspiracy theorist because I saw it happen. I saw how it happened. I was there when it happened, and it happened suddenly, she said, urging the crowd to get some answers as to why people are falling dead suddenly. Silk has repeatedly denied on Twitter that Diamond passed away due to COVID-19. Instead, MyPillow's CEO Mike Lindell has stated publicly that the pro-Trump pundit suddenly collapsed in her kitchen. So I said before, her cause of death still unclear, and they have not released an autopsy. But if you thought that was the end of the funeral, oh no, there's more. So each speaker paid tribute to her unwavering support of a former president, because that's what you want to be remembered for at your funeral, apparently. And another secret about Diamond, she had a boyfriend. Yes, that's right. And she had a boyfriend, and oh my God, we would talk about him all the time. His name, President Donald J. Trump. Yes, President Donald J. Trump. That was her boyfriend. Added Diamond's side piece was Mike Lindell. So, Jesus Christ. Okay, comments from the funeral have sparked a mass wave of vaccine hatred once again from the GOP. A lot of you probably saw this yesterday. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene posted this video from the funeral where Silk is talking about people suddenly dropping dead. And she tweeted, "I demand an immediate investigation into COVID vaccines and the dramatic increase of people dying suddenly. This can no longer be ignored, and this is not political." I will say I watched the whole funeral because I hate myself. And for a good portion of it, Silk is describing how Diamond died. And I gotta say, it really just sounds like this person had a heart attack, which happens to be the #1 cause of death in people in America. So it wouldn't be sudden or a drastic increase in cases of that happening. But Dan, I'll let you get your final thoughts on this funeral.
Yeah, I come from a family of strong Southern Black women, and I think they would probably dodge the opportunity to use a comparison about animals at one of their sisters' funerals just for reasons, many historical reasons, many otherwise. But I just, for the sake of keeping down my breakfast, I'm just gonna not touch the whole whether or not the boyfriend thing with Donald Trump or Mike Lindell is an analogy or a metaphor or some bit of Freudian truth. I think we can all say we're happy to put Diamond to bed in this case. Now, the annoying thing is here with Silk is that, yeah, she even uses this opportunity to, okay, what clip can I get out to the right-wing universe to continue this, oh, it was the vaccine kind of grift that is just, again, sickening, especially because a lot of Diamond, RIPs, and Silk's existence is to try to bring conservatism that would sound kind of sketchy coming from a white kind of tone, but may have Black people say it, so maybe that you could get some Black supporters on the fringes. And that's a really terrible message to be spreading to the Black community, which is at just as high a risk for any of these things as any other American. So I would be way more careful if I were her, just from a moral level. But this is Diamond and rip Silk we're talking about. So I don't know if morals are I mean, I do know morals are way out the door with them.
All right, and at this time, I just want to say, if I suddenly pass away for any reason, please don't let Donald Trump come up on my funeral stage and start riffing about the election.
He might have some bangers, I don't know. I mean, maybe not about the election, but it might be like, Rayyvana, I didn't know that much about it, but I saw some streams while, sometimes I'd be watching Fox News on one thing, and then I'll have the iPad with the streams. I even used a little Prime subscription there. It was really nice. She had a lot of good things to say, not great things to say about me, but great things to say. And you know what? That was fine. Everyone else though, that Dan though, he was really great. That was really no. I'll make sure he throws down some bangers at your funeral.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.